The Real HD Show is brought to you courtesy of Soundtrack Your Brand. Soundtrack Your Brand and its contractual relationship with ASCAP and BMI allows us to play all songs in a vast catalog, all rights reserved. This broadcast, that's right, this particular one, does not deserve strikes from copyright algorithms on social media websites because we have permissions. The Real HD Show is also brought to you by 17 USC 106 Fair Use. Videos used for educational purposes only. And now, let's get that intro. Hey, everybody out there in the ethos. No, I'm not going Hollywood, but you have reached the Real HD Show. This is the higher discussion. This is the forum for all our peoples out there with the care of Black first mentality for what's going on in our community, nation, race, and civilization. You know what I mean? And we can save it or we can watch it crumble. It is up to us. We are here on the Real HD Show to have that discussion. So consider this a home away from home. I'm glad you can make it out tonight. I see a lot of people in here. What we do on the Real HD Show is we bring up, pertinent topics from a Black first perspective that deal with a lot of things in the Black community, and then we heal them with freedom music. Now we used to play the freedom music within the show, but we stopped doing that only in a effort to save time and be more efficient with the show. So if you want the freedom music moment, okay, what you're gonna have to do is you have to show up at 7:30. And when you come backstage, you will hear all the fly music that is consciously related, spiritually motivated, and excellent vibes on the ears and on the brainwaves that we do on the radio show every single time we blast off, every single time we bring it to you. Okay, I'm your host, Vic. And once again, we bring you those chaotic headlines that Black people have to solve. But what do? We heal them with freedom music. That's right, it's the Real HD Show, the higher discussion. Tell a friend to get in because this is about us and you and you and you. Everybody come through. Okay, so we are here, and I'm glad we're here, man. This is the 19th of the month. You know what I mean? Knowledge born. You know what I mean? So that means we got places to go. We got things to do. We got things to say. So we're gonna make that happen. You know what I mean? And we're gonna start it off. We usually do our there's an ancestor segment, but we're not going to start that off tonight. Right now, tonight, we're going to go to our Lit City report. And our Lit City report tonight comes to us from, hip hop cartoons, but it comes to us via General Hashir. And he had some interesting things to say about the state of our peoples in this country and what we need to do to solve some things. So we're going to check out what this brother has to say, animation style. Friend tell a friend, come on in. It's the Real HD Show, the higher discussion. Check it out. Lit City Report.
What do we have here? It's a damn shame. Here it is for 400 plus years. So-called Black people, you've been getting your backs whipped, your ass kicked, plunges up your ass, hit with 41 shots, putting choke holds, knees on your neck. I can't breathe. Stop lying, nigga. You're still talking. I can't breathe. Okay, hurry up and die. I ain't got all day. Yeah, that's just how it go down. And what we do, we get a bunch of signs, banners, flyers, bullhorns, and other bullshit. Then we get to marching. No justice, no peace, Black Lives Matter. And what happens? The system drags along slowly, slow like molasses, and expects us to be calm. They tell you in a minute, be patient. It's a process. Justice will prevail. Yo, this nonsense has gone on for centuries with black people. The ass whipping, the choking, the shooting, you name it. But whoa, lo and behold, when the Asian community starts to get their heads knocked off and attacked by people because of the coronavirus, things move expediently. Now, peep game on this. A bill was introduced to Congress on March 20th, 2021 by Senator Mazie K. Hirono. Keep in mind, this is March 20th. Now, President Biden signed the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act into law on May 20th, 2021. I want you to follow that. You gotta understand, on that day, if you thought you was woke, you got a rude awakening. You got slapped in the damn face. That goes for the grassroots community, for the dropouts to the top of the class, magna cum laude, for the goons to the coons, from the broke to the woke, from the bougie, all the way down to the down home folk. Trust, you woke up. They told you that black lives don't matter. Why? Because this bill became law in 3 months. That's 3 short months. And in 300 years worth of black lives getting trampled on and thrown in the trash, you're told, be patient, it's a process. Justice will prevail. Yeah, and in 3 months, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Egg Foo Young, Miss Kim in the nail salon, and all of them got immediate federal law protection from the government through the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. Now, if you don't recognize what the most lethal virus is, that's been wiping us out, then I guess you've been induced and numbed up with the antibodies of ignorance and your booster shots of ignore it. Ignore it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. You'll never get it. You ain't gonna never get it. This is why some of us do say, we come a long way, man. The white man ain't do nothing to me. It's my own people that be doing stuff to me. This is why we don't have any love or respect for one another. This is why we kill one another with the quickness. We're psychologically sick. We've been infected with the worst virus of all. And the different variants of this virus gets worse and worse. You better wake up and gather yourselves together, old nation not desired. While you're out there shaking in your boots about COVID, your dumb ass done forgot about the other virus that's been whooping your ass forever.
Yeah, man, that was the Lit City Report. The wacky, the wild, the wonderful, and was General Hasher, and he had some interesting words. His words, not mine, but they resonate. So the thing about the Real HD show is that this is an area, this is a safe place for y'all to come, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. You can get in here, say your piece, it's your voice, your victory. And I thought that was an interesting piece to introduce to the people to start off the show. And rounding off the show, we have our AAT report. And this is our health report. Because why? What do we want to do for the rest of the century? Because of COVID-19 and other savage inequalities that exist amongst our peoples, we want to be healthy, wealthier, and wiser. And we present these things to you so that you can have more cellular power. Because what did that particular pandemic disease attack? Our cellular structure and our ability to stay healthy from a cellular standpoint. So what we're going to do is I'm going to present another video. If you've watched the show before, then you have been blessed to check out Brother Maccabee. Brother Maccabee is from the city. I've dealt with this brother many, many a time. He's real dope. And he doesn't mind me playing his videos. Fair use, fair use. And I thank him every time I do it because he always has some critical information for the people. And today he's going to go over Devil's Claw and the medicinal uses. Real HD show. Check it out.
Okay, people don't panic. Devil's Claw is not satanic, it's a healing plant. So me dep on it. Healing plants are all over the planet, originating in southern Africa. Botswana's national flower, called Kumungu in Namibia. They know about its medicinal power. It has hooks that look like a claw. These can help it in a nature. Anything that passes it, it can hook onto, and the seed spread all over. Use long time, enough millennia. Yes, the root, yes, the tuber. What did they use it for and still use it so much years later? Natural pain reducer, arthritis reliever, digestive healer, inflammation soother, bile stimulator, bitter, can help the liver, weight loss, slow down hunger, even used for fever, making a tea or in a powder. Them have capsules, tincture. Topically they use it as well. Ointments, creams, also gel, also a blood thinner as far as I'm aware. So if you're taking medications, you have to take care cause interactions can be there. So take advice from whoever deals with your health care. A medical Monday. Yes, I am.
So that was Maccabee giving us our health, wealth, so that we could be healthy, wealthier, and wiser with the AAT, our version of a health report from the Real HD Show. Why do I have on shades when I usually do not? I know that's probably going to be my give me 1 second, people. Let me plug in because I don't want the show to be interrupted. Give me 1 second and I will tell you why I wear shades. Future so bright, gotta wear shades. That's not the real reason, but something like that. We're gonna get into it. There we go. We like that singing. That sang, because that sang means we able to do our thing right here on the Real HD Show. So you could have been anywhere tonight on this Monday night, but you were hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Please share this. Make sure your peoples all can understand what this show has to offer. Share, subscribe, and then subscribe again. And we're blasting off for many channels, many Facebook channels. We have the Real HD page. We're on CJI. We are on the Deadline page. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch TV. We are on Twitter. We are on Mob Crash D Live, Trovo Nation, and we are on iHeartRadio TV. The Real HD Show simulcasting to a place near you. And we appreciate you being here, rocking with us. And so the glasses. Okay, so I usually don't wear the shades, right? But I needed something. I've been burning the midnight oil, trying to get it in, and the eyes are a little puffy. You know what I mean? And I thought you guys deserve a lot better than see a puffy-eyed cat come on here trying to show you something brand new. But I've been putting in that, due diligence for you and yours so that we could be aware going into the season that we're in, the winter that is just touching on us, and then also for the rest of the 21st century as we progress, as we proceed to give you what you need. We are the higher discussion indeed. So we here, we talking, and we're here tonight for this. New law that Popo, you could bust at Popo legally. We here to talk about it. And of course, you see you see the characterization here. You see the Larry Davis clippings. If anybody's from New York City, y'all remember Larry Davis. That was crazy. I must have been in like junior high school, and Larry Davis went crazy, man. You couldn't believe what that brother did and how he went out, man. He went out in a blaze of glory. But and why I say that is because, and you'll find out why I say that as the show progresses. And then you have the NFAC and them trying to install their effectiveness for the macro melanated communities in our country. And of course, there's some things that they're going through as well at the moment with leadership and the like. So we need to, we need to jump on. We need to stay in tune, stay in touch. And you guys see the call letters in the ticker below, the little slider way on the bottom. So we're live. So if you want to jump in, the water is fine. You guys can dial that up, StreamYard, and then put in the call letters, and then we can get in. Hey, looks like we got our first guest of the evening. Let me bring him in. Hi, man. Chris Starks. What's going on, Bubba?
Hey, James, what's going on, man?
What's goody, bro?
All right, man.
We
Thank
here.
you, baby.
We are here. Tell everybody.
Yes, man. What's up, man? What's up? Got the hat and the glasses, looking low key. What's going on? What's going on?
Just a little change up,
You get some coffee?
little switch up to the mix up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I see you.
Trying to do it. But nah, I've been burning the midnight oil. The eyes are
Okay.
the eyes ain't where they supposed to be right now. So trying to get them to get right. Once they get right,
Man, my eyes ain't never where they supposed to be.
I mean, as long as your third eye is where it's supposed to be,
That's right. That's right.
that's what's good, bro. That's what's good. How you been, man? What's going on? What's going
I'm
on?
doing good, man. I'm recovering from the little sciatic nerve issue, and I'm back, man. Back to
Congrats.
working out and feeling good, man. So I'm on my way back.
Yeah, man, we just did. I'm glad of that, man. That's awesome news. So hopefully we full steam ahead with a lot of the things and a lot of the initiatives that we got going on for the new year, new season, new rhyme, new reason. And we on the Real HD show, man. We just did our AAT report, our healthy, wealthier, and wiser edition of the Real HD show. And we featured something called Devil's Claw. Are you familiar with that, bro?
Devil's Claw?
Yeah. It's a
No, I
herb.
never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a herb. It's central to like Africa and South America, and it's amazing. It's actually like you ever seen like a starfish before?
Yes.
So imagine a dried up starfish, right? And then it's so dense that once it's dried, the seeds kind of dissipate everywhere. They drop everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Yeah, and those seeds are where the vitamins and nutrients are. It's also in the plant, but the seeds especially. Now, what's characteristic about Devil's Claw in this sense is Africa was one of the areas of the world that was not ravaged by COVID-19.
Right.
And of course, that's because they used a lot of precautions because they went through a lot of natural disasters with diseases and whatnot, so they were prepared. But also, when in the very onset of COVID-19 over there, they were using Devil's Claw.
They were using Devil's Claw?
Yes, sir.
So so does that grow a lot down there, or?
Yeah, it's like in the places like Uganda, South Africa, Cape Town. It grows in the wild. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a bush remedy for the most part.
Yeah, it says that it fights inflammation, relieves arthritis, pain, headache, and low back pain. They use it to fight that. So
Yeah, but they also used it to fight COVID-19 for whatever reason. It was a solvent for them, at least in the phases. So in other words, they went and used their own medicinals rather than depending on pharmaceuticals. You know what I'm saying?
right, yes, it says it's native to South Africa.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man. So that's just one of the we had to do our subjects. We had to do our segments right before we get into our power to the people news. So we did that. So just like we always do, we will jump into power to the people news. Hey, what just happened? This just happened. Yeah, man. Power to the people news. This is what just happened. This just happened. calls grow to cancel Kevin Hart's comedy show in Egypt over Kevin Hart's Afrocentric views. Now, what happened is Kevin Hart decided to back a anime that was made showing black people in Kemet, and he put his money behind it, and he wanted to see it. There was another one called Sands. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And it was like these they almost had like Dragon Ball Z figures. They almost looked like that.
Yep.
But it was a black owned anime company. Maybe
Yep.
about 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And they got a little win. They got a little head start doing what they do. And then now he wants to take that to the next level. He wants to take that. But the Arabs over there in Egypt or Kemet for that matter, they don't like that because they want to claim Egypt or Kemet for themselves. But I'm here to tell you that particular area of the world has a history that was ancient way before the Arabs got there. So when the Arabs got there, right around 2nd century BC, it was already ancient. Our history was already ancient by almost 15,000 years in that area of the world. So it's all appropriation. Now, of course, they've predominated that area for the last, I would say, 400 or 500 years. And of course, those who control, those who have the power, write the textbooks, control the narrative to a degree. But I applaud Kevin Hart for, trying to reach out and trying to reclaim that stolen legacy that belongs to our folks. Your thoughts? I put it up here.
Yeah, that's what's up, Kevin Hart, man. Hey, it sounds like some people are waking up. It's good to see people speak up against the machine,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So he had a they're trying to hurt this man's pockets over him co-signing this deal for the black anime, and I kind of see it. This is almost like another Kyrie Irving situation where like you're standing up for what you think is our roots and culture, and then because you're co-signing it, and Kyrie didn't even say anything about it, he just put the tweet out.
Right.
Later on, he had a lot to say about his endearment on the subject matter of Hebrews and the originality of Hebrews and Jews and whatnot. But similar to Kevin Hart, they wanted to murder him in an international court of public opinion. What do you think of all of the what do you think of this interesting time period that we're in, that black men can't stand up for what they believe in and have any sort of clout or any sort of stature in society, and risk having it stripped just because they want to say what they need to say and stand up for what they believe in? What's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I believe that when the real story is told, they'll be the real heroes. They're using their platform to try to cause change. So they might right now they might go through the suffering, but at the end of the day, I believe there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. The money at the end of the day, it becomes really superficial. I mean, you have millions and millions of dollars. Look at Kanye West. He had billions. He was a billionaire,
Right.
But at a certain point, you can only buy so much stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what you gonna do, man? He had already said he was gonna use his platform to do what he's doing now. Even though I don't agree with 100% everything he does and says, he has been using his platform to speak against the conglomerate and the
Right.
machine. So
Right.
I respect that because I know he's losing a lot of money every day. Somebody's canceling on him or terminating their deal with him. So money talks, and when somebody's losing money for a cause, that means they truly have to believe in it. Because who else in their right mind is going to do something like that?
Right. So I agree totally, and I thought that was very kind of on the same wavelength that Kevin Hart is doing with his uh show, his anime show. And Kevin Hart don't need an anime show.
Right.
He doesn't get to be more successful than he is because he's an A-lister. He's putting out 5 movies a year. He's killing it. So
Yeah.
at a time period where they canceling people left and right. So it's interesting that internationally they would even attempt to do something like this because they can't even get that many American performers over there wanting to come over there and lend their services because it's always too volatile, you know what I mean? So
Right.
don't nobody want to go over there because there's always something going on. Did you hear about the Fat Joe and Ja Rule piece that happened in Africa?
No, what happened?
They went over, I forget what part it was, whether it might have been Ethiopia or someplace in and about Ethiopia. Well, they were doing it, and the show was just about over. And in all they saw, Fat Joe tells the story, is all they see is like the guard surround the stage with like paramilitary style weapons, and they weren't allowed to leave because they wanted an encore. So they kept them up for another 4 hours.
What?
Yeah, and they paid them. But they wouldn't let them leave unless they perform for another 4 hours.
That's a wrench in the plans right there.
Nah, they paid them. No, they paid them
Yeah, I get it.
from what I hear. But like they was like, nah, click click, you ain't going nowhere. You got another 4 quarters, Bubba.
Oh, you said 4? I got 4.5 for you.
Where they 2K on the stage, here's 2 million. You got another 4 quarters. Get to it. So they was doing
Might as well.
they was doing like old catalog, Fat Joe broke out the Big Pun stuff and was doing all of it.
Right.
Just to kind of eat up time, but they wouldn't let him go. So it was interesting. So it's always interesting how that area of the world or just internationally relates to Black people and what we're doing here. And what was I going to say?
I definitely want to see it for myself. I want to see Africa for myself, man.
For sure.
Just been seeing it too long on TV and the narratives. When I went to Medellin, Colombia, I was thinking I was going into a third world country where there was cocaine everywhere, and and when I got there, it was modern, just like here. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right.
It was crazy. Of course, they had their bad areas, but we got our bad areas too.
Facts.
So I felt a little bit safer there than I do here.
Yeah, in some degrees, yeah. They say
well, it's statistically it is safer over there than it is here.
No,
if you
you're
look at the statistics.
I'm agreeing with you. Merida, Mexico is supposed to be voted the safest place to live on the planet.
What place is that?
Merida, Mexico.
Merida. Okay.
It's hot as hell though. It's about 120 degrees every day. It's nice as hell, but
that's a little hot.
I know, bro. That's crazy. They say you can't even use your laptop because it'll like disrupt your whole piece. You can't.
Yeah, that's not my type. That's a little bit too hot for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So out to the people news. We moving on. What just happened? This just happened. Brittany Griner is home. Released from prison. That day you have Brittany Griner's wife. I don't know her name. That's not my responsibility. But that's her. And of course, that's Kamala Harris. And the picture's a little cut off, but to her left is one of the White House interns. And then, of course, at the lower left is Biden. And He looks ecstatic. don't he look so happy for her?
He looks like he's sleeping.
Yeah, he looks so
That's
happy.
how he. That's why they call him Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, he looked elated. He looked like he is so in
No,
her corner.
nah, but let me ask you a question about this release though.
Do you think?
All right, so there's a Marine that's been there for 4 years,
Right.
and and she got a preference over him. Now, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, they traded Brittany Griner for the chemist, right? And
No, he was a murderer.
yeah, but he was supposed to be a chemist, some sort of Russian chemist that they had. Um,
I thought he was a hitman for some reason.
no, I believe he was a chemist. He wasn't a hitman, but he was taking people out with whatever he
Right.
whatever resigned was taking folks out. Um, so yeah, so they so say that once again. Ask me that question once more, because while you were doing
So
that,
so there was a Marine there that's been there for 4 years waiting to get released, and she got preference over him. This is somebody who of course, dedicated time to the armed forces, to the United States, and then you got Brittany Griner who plays basketball. To me, I don't think that's fair. If I was the family of the Marine, I'd be very pissed off.
yeah, man. So there was somebody else that spoke directly to your point, and it was the cat. No, wrong. Yeah, Micah Parsons from the Cowboys.
Mm,
So he believes this is a deliberate attempt of the Biden administration to gain brownie points, conveniently.
black people
Yeah,
or
with black folk and
or
LGBTQ.
gay people. Yes.
So you get the best of both worlds in this particular scenario, and right in time for the LGBTQ Marriage Equality Act to be reenacted. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
And
Is
my
that
thoughts are I'd like to move somewhere else.
you ain't getting me to touch that one?
I'm telling you, listen, man. I've been seeing a bunch of videos of Brittany with no shirt on, shooting hoops. I don't know if it's Photoshop. I don't know what's going on, bro. I have no idea what's going on in this world. Whatever.
My man said the world.
Yes, it's just I don't know. I feel like we're in a matrix, and I feel like somewhere our realities just switched up a little bit, you know. So it's just weird. Very weird. It's very weird that all this attention is on things that are not as important as other things, should I say.
Right, they're not things that are priority don't seem priority right now until
Right.
until they have to be, right?
Right.
Yeah, man. Um, and then of course, give me 1 second because I'm pulling up this piece so I could read what. So at one point it says the Biden administration has been praised for securing Brittany Griner's release. Cowboys Micah Parson didn't bite, tweeting, "We're still not voting for you." He later explained why he doesn't back Biden. He says he's not a Trump supporter. Parsons apologized for the tweet. Of course, they made him bend the knee, and they saying he wouldn't have posted it. Griner is headed back to the U.S. Uh, following her February arrest on drug charges. She was living in Colony. Um, and then, of course, they want you to click down for more information. That he doesn't
So
have.
this dude. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's not that he doesn't have sympathy for Brittany Griner and what she was going through. He sees this as a ploy by the Biden administration to very timely distraction, if you will, right around the time when a lot of other things are happening And we're gonna go over some of the things that are happening simultaneously while they got people paying attention to this. A lot of the fuckery is afoot. So your thoughts?
Right.
Your thoughts? Go ahead.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is Victor Bout. They say he is a Russian arms dealer, a weapons manufacturer, and former Soviet military translator. He uses multiple companies to smuggle arms from Eastern Europe to Africa and the Middle East during the 1990s and early 2000s. Bout gained the nicknames the Merchant of Death and Sanctions Buster after British Prime Minister Peter Hain read a report to the United Nations in 2003 on Bout's wide-reaching operations, extensive clientele, and willingness to bypass embargoes. So he was an arms dealer. They would call him the Merchant of Death. Like this dude, what they traded, what they got, man, they could have got a couple people for this dude. This dude was a monster. He's like a legend to these to the Russians. you know
Right. So what I did read further was that he put together a cocktail that he actually added to his weaponry, which is i.e. the chemist tag and explosive, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So is that an even exchange?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, he could have got the Marine too. I would have said, listen, we give you, give us Brittany and give us the Marine too, or what I'm saying. And I mean, this guy is now. I mean, man, it's crazy, man. The family of that Marine's gotta be livid, man.
I know that Micah Parsons, that's one of the things that he cited in his beef with Biden. Like, you're gonna go get the celebrity, but you're not gonna go get the Marine who's been over there, you know, putting it in for you. You know what I mean?
4 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's interesting, man. And in my opinion, I see this as a lot of, distraction news,
Yes.
especially on the eve of what would have been the marriage equality bill that they just signed with LGBT for the LGBTQ folks, right?
Mm.
And I'm gonna put it up and I'm gonna show you because it's gonna, wagging the dog. He's putting out a lot of dog whistles right now to get people to pay attention to this and not so much, other things that are happening. So that's them signing the marriage equality bill, and that's fine. If LGBTQ people want to get married, that's their business because they really what they're doing is just entering a contract with the government. So if they want the government all in their nooks and crannies, and contractually obligated to the government that way, that's essentially what you're doing.
Right.
Now it could work out for the better or for the worse, but that's essentially what you're doing. And what they did was something really interesting. Once they signed it, they lit up the White House in the rainbow colors of the LGBTQ. Did you see that part?
I did not.
Um, Let me see if I can find it. Okay, boom, I'll put it up there. Give me one sec. It's loading up as we see. There we go. Now that's interesting, in my opinion, because they are very calculated
Right.
and they are very planned. They're a planative group. So if anything were to happen to any member of the Biden administration, they have a fallback plan, a safety plan, a plan that they can enact that will allow them to keep the nation governed from a safe place. So in other words, these people are reticent, they are planned, and they are ready to go. So you can't tell me that superimposing the rainbow spectrum all over what is called the White House was done in jest or was done in simple celebration. This is the White House is symbolic. This is a symbolic bill that had been passed. And I really believe that these are symbolic colors
Right.
that are meant to represent um, a lot of things. Symbolic. What's your thoughts, bro? So you think these people would risk symbolizing something like this over one of their most important edifices if it didn't have a really, really strong and pertinent meaning that they wanted everybody to witness?
Well, if every symbol on the dollar bill has a meaning, all the feathers, the pillars and everything else, this has a meaning, you know. Um, and nothing ever is ever what it seems, man. And like you said, I think they always are making something happen and trying to grab your attention with that while they're doing something on the back end, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I truly believe that this is more than meets the eye. I believe this is some transformer stuff at work. And if we're talking about the spectrum, the light spectrum, these are different frequencies from the weakest to strongest in a spectrum of, like multiplicity. So you're going from all different points of enlightenment. You know what I mean? You're going from a heavy point of enlightenment to a really, really shallow point of enlightenment throughout the Roy G. Biv spectrum. And I really do believe, and all of that carries a different energy. So that means in
Right.
the energy, it was one way, and then it's going in a certain direction. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Because the spectrum doesn't stop; it continues all the way until there's a different outcome at the other side, and you have to have a different outcome because it's a different energy wavelength. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like when you dip a litmus stick in water, acid, or whatever you do to do a litmus test, it gives you the broad base of spectrum to show whether or not that thing is alkaline or whether it's too base or too much acid. Correct?
Right.
Yeah. So it's the same thing here. So I believe this is a message that they're sending the people that we're on a ride right now. We're on a wavelength. We've started one place and we're headed somewhere else. Where
Oh
do you
yeah.
where do you think the energy of that is headed? What's your thoughts on that, man?
Man, oh, I don't even know, man. I'm telling you, it's a lot of weirdness going down, man. I think that's the first time that I've ever seen anything like that happen at the
Right.
White House, So I think that's definitely something
No.
significant.
Mm-hmm. They like look when the Civil Rights Act was first brought about in the 60s, and then of course it was reenacted and signed again in Baby Bush's time, Bush Jr., right? He had to
Mm,
sign it so it can go back into law so that black people could continue to vote, continue to contract and have businesses, and all the things that the Civil Rights Bill guaranteed. Um, they didn't put red, black, and green all over the White House, did they?
I don't ever remember seeing that.
You came at me like, sir, I
Uh,
don't ever recall.
no, I really don't. No, I don't think that ever happened. And
Right. So the fact that this population that's less than 10% of the macro population in the country gets this sort of treatment. It's very interesting, man. It's very peculiar.
it is.
Very peculiar. So, you know, people out there in a larger, macros macro society, please watch your ass and
Literally.
be vigilant day to day with your loved ones and with your people that you care about because there's some things happening. And a couple years ago, a couple people pulled my coattail and said, "Yo, they got some stuff coming for us." And there was COVID-19, and nobody saw that coming. So
Nobody saw 2022 coming either. Like 2022 coming. The
yes, sir.
second half of 2020, because this has been one hell of a year, man. This has been one of the toughest years of my life. You
Yeah,
know, so
yeah, with the stagflation, and yeah, man, it's crazy.
lost a lot of people this year, man.
Yeah, I lost a lot of people 2019, 2020. Yeah, I
Yeah.
lost about I
This
lost
year I lost a lot. I lost more people than I've lost in my whole life.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, but we back. We just wanted to point that out and make those things valid and vivid for you guys, so you guys can understand, take that with you, and do the yourself. Don't just believe me and bro Chris Starks, the Iron Man himself, but do your own research. Get back with us. Timestamp that Joker, and then get back with us with that info, so we can continue to have this conversation. So yeah, man. So we back. Power to the people. News. Wait, what just happened? Happened. So there's a bill. We're gonna get right into the heart of why we're here. New law: people can bust back at the Popo legally. Have you heard about this at all, bro?
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, this is real stuff. This is real.
And so where was this information at?
Yes, sir. I'm about to pop it up. Well, that's the NRA's piece, and this is Indiana law that lets citizens shoot cops. So this is for real, and this is about trespassing on your property. So it says the Hoover state law now allows people to use deadly force to keep public servants from illegally entering their homes or cars. Police, of course, are not pleased. So this is an Indiana law, and I think it's on the heels of several other laws, like you heard about the bail reform law in Chicago, right?
No, what's going on with that?
Yeah, there's a bail reform law in Chicago that they just passed within the Chicago in the Illinois Assembly, and it has a whole lot of and they passed it because there was some real egregious like uh ways that they were conducting their jurisprudence and stripping people of due process.
Hmm.
So they were jailing people for like 3 years prior to court trial dates, and creating prison industrial complex farms of people who were just awaiting trial. So they changed a lot of things, and there was a sergeant out of Chicago that was crying about all of the things that they were going to change. Like, for instance, they couldn't arrest black people for petty crimes. They couldn't put people over in cars. So all of the petty crap that you had to plea yourself out of in an arrest situation, they all but eliminated that in Chicago. And then the cops turned around and the politicians turned around that weren't in favor of it, and said that it was going to create a purge in Chicago.
Hmm.
So what's your thoughts, man? You think that if they give more freedom, people will abuse it? Or do you think that they give more freedom, people are going to be more respectful of it and use it for their own sovereign abilities? What do you think?
I feel like if they're gonna shoot at the cops, they're gonna shoot at the cops regardless if it's law or not. Man. That's how I feel. I'm from around some people, and that's how they are. If they gonna shoot at the cops, if they gonna carry a gun, they gonna carry a gun, and they're gonna shoot at the cops regardless if it's law or not. You know, it might give some people an incentive to do some stuff, but I don't think it's gonna make a big difference. I mean, it's not. It's. I don't know. It's. I don't know, man. It's. I think the police have a tough enough job as it is. I think we could probably be focusing. We need to focus on other things, man. That's what I mean. I think they focus on the wrong things. This is just gonna cause. This is gonna cause more problems.
Mm.
It's gonna
Why
cause
you
more
say that?
problems,
Why
man.
do you, so why do you think that this will cause more problems? Because what I was leaning into was because you know how they kind of test pilot these type of things
Mm,
in certain states,
yeah.
and then they want to see how the people adjust to it. And then once the people adjust to it, then they'll bring it to bigger city states like New York, Illinois, Cali, bigger city states where there's more ramifications for people, how to use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know, man. All I know is that if you shoot at the cops, you usually gonna end up dead. It doesn't even matter if you were in the right. They gonna kill you. They gonna kill you, man. That's just period, point blank. They gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? Very few people who shoot at the cops actually make it to court.
So
And
yeah,
usually they're of the lighter skin. You know what I'm saying?
right. So let me ask you and the people at home a couple things. I'm gonna read this little byline out of the NRA. There's an NRA article because the NRA is backing this Indiana law. Now, of course they would, because what would that mean? That would mean that people go out and buy more guns, right? So of course they would back a law that allows people to arm themselves, right? Second Amendment. So Indiana is the first state to specifically allow force against officers, according to the Association of Prosecuting Attorneys, which represents and supports prosecutors. The National Rifle Association pushed for the law, saying that an unfavorable court decision made the need clear, and that it would be allow homeowners to defend themselves during violent, unjustified attack. And then, of course, police lobbied against it. So we hearing more and more upticks of the no-knock warrants.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Where they just busting in your door. They're ravaging yourself and your family. I myself have been a victim. I would say, I don't like to call myself a victim, but I've experienced that, and they were at the wrong house. So it's interesting, and then my family had to, deal with that alongside officers who swore that my residence was the right place that they were at. And I mean, they were armed to the teeth. They had dogs, they had SWAT. It was crazy. And I was like, yo, y'all got the wrong place. And my piece was way upstairs in the attic, way out of the way of the kids. But if I had my opportunity to grab it, I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying, though.
I don't know. But
That's what I'm saying, though. Regardless,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna care if you say police or what. I'm shooting.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's law or not law. I'm going to defend myself and I'm going to stand my ground, regardless if I gotta deal with the consequences after. So that's what I mean. It doesn't matter if it's law. If you know who you are, you know your rights. You know you want to survive to the next day. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a law to tell you to defend yourself.
Ha
You know what
ha.
I'm saying?
You the
You don't
black.
need a law. A law don't really, to me and the people I know, for the most part, the law is the law, but the law of the streets is what it really is what you better be working with, because the police don't have the responsibility of protecting you. You have the responsibility of protecting you.
There was an
The police
article.
job is to
There
protect
was
the
an
public.
article, bro. That it's in that you say that, because there was an article I was just reading while I was preparing. I think Abe is trying to jump in. Come on back in, Abe. This is a dope conversation. We just getting to the nitty gritty of it. And you guys see the call letters on the bottom, StreamYard.com, K9, KQ9CU. Put it in your address bar, and I will let you in. It doesn't matter, friend or foe, blind, cripple, or crazy. You guys could get in here and say your piece. Your voice is your victory on the Real HD Show. So it's interesting that you said that, bro, because I was reading where they said that they're not responsible for protecting you. Did you know that?
Yes, I do.
It's not written in the 10th Amendment. And the 10th Amendment gives uh the 10th Amendment basically gives police powers. Now, I don't know why they use the model protect and serve if they're not bound to protect and serve. And as far as I'm concerned, the cops is just as much street as any crook or drug dealer or any other person, they make up the element of the street like all the other elements make up the elements in the streets. Because it's all unpredictable. They could roll up on you at any time, do anything you want. I'm from New York City. So when I was going to high school, I had the pleasure of experiencing stop and frisk. You know what I'm saying? Where you could be on any subway at any day, at any time, minding your business, just going to get some kicks, and they got you hemmed up against the wall, you know, running through your whole pockets, running through your whole liberty, touching your nuts, all type of shit. You know what I mean? Now, what I think this particular law would do in Indiana is I think this would even the playing field. What say you? Peace, Abe. What's going on, bro? What you say about this, man? Does this even the playing
What's up,
field?
Kings? What's up, King?
Peace.
Uh, it makes the situation a little more dangerous because now it gives police the authority to come in to say, I don't know if he has a gun or not. You know what I'm saying? Now it gives them that justification. It gives them that pretext to come into that situation, shooting first, ask questions later. So it does put them in a good situation in that sense. And so how do we exercise our rights is by actually having a gun in our possession, at least in some type of vicinity in case of a stop. So it puts the onus on the citizen to really just get a gun, and that's how I see it, and kind of a retrospect after hearing a little bit what you guys were talking about and seeing a little bit of the bigger picture. It kind of creates that wild west, and like how you said, it creates that gang mentality where it's the police is the gangs and the gangs in New York type situation, where if we do see a situation like the OK Corral, should we expect that to be normal? You see what I'm saying?
Does this give sovereignty? Does this give sovereignty back to the people? Just a bit.
It does.
Just a bit.
It does.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's setting people up to get killed. Unless you're gonna go get you an army, which is what you're gonna need if you want to battle the cops, and there's no guarantee you're gonna win with that because they got an army backing them as well. Then you're not gonna win, man. My thing is that we could probably address some other issues that can get us further than doing something like that, making a decision like that.
Correct. And I believe everything that you said, Brother Iron Man, is so correct in that sense. Where unless we're preparing for this actual battle, you're lost. You in that situation. So you got to gear up. You got to strap up if this is the new precedent. And that's what I was saying about, are we anticipating the OK Corrals, the man getting gunned down or the police getting gunned down in people's front lawns? Are we ready for that to be the new norm? And is that the standard that we want to set in Indiana? And again, regardless if it's an incident between the police and white folks in the rural communities, or black folks in an urban setting, or on a highway, this could get a little out of hand because it becomes vigilante justice. Now it's about people's feelings and not about what's right and wrong.
Well, the only way that this works is if it's within the confines of your property, your home.
Okay.
Yeah, but still, like,
that's what
you're not gonna make it to the court to find out if you were right or wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like, how many people shoot at the cops actually get taken into custody?
Right.
It's not going to happen. They're going to get better guns. They're going to get better weapons. And when you shoot at them, whether you right or wrong, you are going to die. That's it.
I think it would make them think twice.
They don't even need to come to your door. They sending robots.
Right.
There's a law. They just passed a law where robots can kill you now. All right. So
Yeah,
now they don't have to. They could send a drone in there. They could send a robot in there that's armed and tell you to get out, and then they kill. They don't. They're not even going to be doing those warrants like that no more. They don't have to.
Didn't they
Technology is
kill?
way too good. They're gonna
Didn't they
let us
kill the
keep
brother?
guns, and they're gonna be shooting lasers. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
we're
you
always gonna be behind the eight ball. You know what I'm saying?
so I don't think you're wrong on some like you know living just enough for the city stuff, but I do think that they still have the obligation of jurisprudence. Bring the body to court. They got to bring him to court. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he'll come back on. They still have the obligation of jurisprudence. So if somebody is committing a crime, it's their obligation to bring the body to court so that that court can settle the dispute. Now, they can't bring dead bodies because then there's no dispute. There's nothing to dispute.
They bring the bodies they want to bring. That's it. And history shows you if they want you to, if they want to bring you, they'll bring you. But usually they don't, and they leave you right there. Especially if you black. Name how many people that killed black cops they actually got to arrest. It is very few, man.
So
Especially if it's on the spot. Like
right.
unless you get away after shooting them, I don't know how you're gonna get to court and be able to turn yourself in. So I don't even. They treat cop killers pretty bad in prison too. So it's.
Right, and then plus the manhunt, and I was just gonna say about the robot situation. Wasn't that how they killed black guy in the parking lot, in the parking garage? Didn't they put out a little robot and blow him up or something like that? If I'm not mistaken.
like a drone strike.
Nah, I'm not familiar with that
Nah, it
story.
was the gentleman in Dallas not too long ago went on a shooting spree and it ended up
Mm.
locking them down in the parking garage. It could have been a former police officer or I can't think of the situation, but I just remember Dallas parking garage. Everybody was talking about how they used the robot to kill him, and so it didn't give him the option of turning himself in or not. It was real controversial, a lot of conspiracy theories around it. But getting back to the topic,
Oh, so it said police killed the brother's last name was Johnson. They don't give his first name. They said they killed Johnson with a bomb attached to
yeah,
a disposable robot.
that was yeah,
Ah,
wild,
yeah,
wild,
oh, that's craziness, yo. That
wow.
was
So now if you fortify your house, you know what I'm saying, you got it on lock and you don't even know what they looking at your house for. You just like, I got the what ifs and everything on lock, and they sending one of them to your crib, bruh.
they
Right.
They
they
sending that
sending
in your house.
Rumble, Ravage, and Laserbeak up in the spot.
Yeah, yeah. This
Crazy, I
this
didn't
is
know that.
wild. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
So now it gives precedent for that.
Yeah,
They could bust down your window and throw a little pipe bomb in there. The move situation in Philadelphia is now justified. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? They got guns in there. So regardless who shot first, I felt like my life was at risk. And
Right.
so that's why this is dangerous in what it allows as far as the legal standard. They're going to move that needle as far as they can, especially when it comes to black lives and black bodies.
Well, I believe this wasn't really made for black lives and black bodies. I believe this was made to sell guns by the NRA. And I also believe it was to rile up the MAGA crowd
Mm-hmm.
and get that whole piece going because they feel they being replaced. So if they can arm themselves, then that's one more feather in their cap. So, but of course, if it works in Indiana, in a crowded city like Gary, or Indianapolis, then they can, bring it on to the larger city states. And because of course they're bending all of the, and they're commandeering all of the immunity laws for the police right now.
Yeah, and at the same time, you got to look at it from this standpoint. Now, say it's a white gentleman on his property and a black cop trying to do his job.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? That now that gives that guy his pass. Well, he's on my property and XYZ. So, that's something else we got to look at that dynamic, and understanding that a lot of these law enforcements do have high numbers of black police, in some places, and maybe not Indiana, but you look at Fulton County, pretty much they whole district attorney, police force, the sheriff, all that is black led, and so in larger picture, it's the blue shield against everybody else.
Yeah, but then it goes over to your family because some of your family members might be in law enforcement. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Then what? So
it
it just seems like a lot of times when black people talk about law enforcement, we act like we don't got our people in law enforcement when a lot of our people are in law enforcement
right.
and our military.
Right, and that's what I was saying. Like Fulton County is Atlanta, and I was saying like their whole system is black led, and
Right.
and now that creates a dynamic on the other hand as well, and kind of creates that resentment, that plantation mentality in a sense, or crab in the barrel type mentality where, like I said, just putting that law in place, you don't want to put the justification of removing life, and I think that's something that we have to look at from a legal philosophy standpoint of what are our laws actually saying, and what are they communicating to the public. Just from the simple standpoint that we have to have laws that identify our racial identity. That says a lot about our society, and its immorality. If number one, it points at who are the oppressors. If it's saying don't discriminate against XYZ, whoever they're not including, obviously got to be the ones that are doing the oppression. And so, same thing with this law. If we're saying that cops are killing people too much, in response, we should be allowed to kill cops. I think that just sets a negative precedent on the progression of thought, and progression of how society is moving, in that sense, where the younger generation are saying, okay, if you smack me, I smack you harder type mentality, instead of saying, okay, let's figure this out in a sense, and let's use our words in that context.
well, let us know, everybody out there in all the platforms that the show is brought to. Let us know what you think about the subject matter. Your voice, your victory, right here on the Real HD Show. I appreciate these brilliant brothers and everything they got to say. I'm gonna end it off like this though. There's a peculiar history with law enforcement and melanated people in the United States. No one could deny that. You're gonna go back to the night riders of the and the slave patrollers of the antebellum slavery, all the way up to the racial incidents, the over 120 mass mob attacks that were racially motivated over the 20th century. And of course, you had the you mentioned the Move movement in Philadelphia, and that was all cop motivated. Um, so we can't pretend like we don't have a really funky ass history with law enforcement in this country. Like when black people were in chattel slavery, the first vestiges of law were gathering up black people when they were trying to seek freedom. So we have a really funky history that needs to be acknowledged and needs some penance so that we can move on and be better in society. I kind of think this is a step in the right direction, because when you have like a Breonna Taylor situation happen and they were in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and you know, a lot of things can happen. And as a matter of fact, this was already on the books to a degree. Like you'd have to get a real G-ass lawyer and get the court so the lawyer could defend you on protecting your private property. But wasn't this already on the books to a degree? Yeah,
Oh man,
you're able to defend your private property. If somebody runs up in your house, you're able to defend yourself and your domicile and your private property. You absolutely are. Now, this law just kind of reinforces it, and I also think it kind of pads the pockets of the NRA, because if a lot of people get behind it, they're gonna go out and buy weapons. And black people, gun sales for black people have gone up 65% in the last 3 years. So everybody's getting clacked up, and I don't blame them. I mean, you can't walk around the United States and guarantee your safety in any regard. As far as you know, these race soldiers running up on you. Who was it on? Was either one of you on the show when I talked about how 40% of California police officers fail mental health exams?
yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was not on that episode.
Yeah.
That's problematic.
Yeah.
Well, they
So-
don't really require a lot for a person to become a police officer to begin with.
Right.
I mean, to entrust them with that much responsibility, you should probably require more of them. I know it probably costs more time and more resources, but it's probably worth it.
No, it's definitely is. Just think about how much money these police departments have to shell out in civil cases. You know, hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. Rodney King, you know, had $1 million, you know, civil case, and the list goes on. So I think that's something that we have to take into account as well when you look at laws like that. That regardless the outcomes negatively, financially, and community, socially wise, it harms the community. Whether the police start shooting or whatever, the civilians got to pay for it. Just one of those incidents alone, neighborhood where a cop got killed, that's dropping property value. like who wants that? And so there's no benefit even in you know, having this law get you out of something. There's no benefit at all, and the community is only going to suffer.
I think this was done in shock too, for the shock value. I think they did have an ulterior motive for putting this out, and I don't really think that just because you say something like that is lawful, that it's really going to change people's mind that wouldn't have done it already anyway. You know what I'm saying? I don't really see too many people saying, "Oh, this law, now I could do it," on something as serious as shooting at the cops. You know what I'm saying? If the person was going to shoot at the cops, they was going to shoot at the cops regardless if it was law or not. If they feel like you're trespassing on their property and they don't know who you are, they're going to shoot. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, I'm a homeowner. I know I would. So it is what it is. You know, you're going to go out on your shield at that point. You're not going to be worried about court. You're going to be worried about protecting your family and what's ever inside your house.
For sure. So I want to get to something that's a little heavy, but I want to show it to you. And I don't know if you guys are up on it. If you are, then this will even be a better conversation. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to play about 3 minutes, and then hopefully we can have a little discussion about it before we end tonight's episode of the Higher Discussion. Bear with me while I load it up. All right, I got to load it up. Here we go. Real HD Show.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy. Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby and become the true biological parents of their own offspring. It's a perfect solution for women who had their uterus surgically removed due to cancer or other complications. With Ectolife, premature births and C-sections will be a thing of the past. Ectolife is designed to help countries that are suffering from severe population decline, including Japan, Bulgaria, South Korea, and many others. The facility features 75 highly equipped labs. Each state-of-the-art lab can accommodate up to 400 growth pods or artificial wombs. Every pod is designed to replicate the exact conditions that exist inside the mother's uterus. A single building can incubate up to 30,000 lab-grown babies per year. Ectolife allows your baby to develop in an infection-free environment. The pods are made of materials that prevent germs from sticking to their surfaces. Every growth pod features sensors that can monitor your baby's vital signs, including heartbeat, temperature, blood pressure, breathing rate, and oxygen saturation. The artificial intelligence-based system also monitors the physical features of your baby and reports any potential genetic abnormalities. The pods are equipped with a screen that displays real-time data on the developmental progress of your baby. These data are sent directly to your phone so you can track your baby's health from the comfort of your zone.
There's an app for that.
The app also provides you with a high-resolution live view of your baby's development. A special section in the app allows you to watch a time-lapse of your baby's growth and share it directly with your loved ones. Because babies can recognize language and learn new words while still in the womb, Ectolife growth pods feature internal speakers that play a wide range of words and music to your baby.
All right, I had to stop it there. They said they play a wide range of words and messages to your baby. How about it? What's first thoughts on that, y'all? First of all, did y'all see that already? Or y'all, is this the first time y'all
I never saw that, man. That's some programming, man. That's some Matrix world stuff for real. I think those babies will have problems that we've never seen before. Right? They'll have issues we never seen before. They might be smarter than everything else, but we'll see the weirdest crimes ever, man. I'm done with this. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to. Where they at? I'm
Yeah,
taking the
he said,
first flight out of here, bro.
I'm ready to go. Yo, Abe, man. Tell the people, man, what's your first thoughts on the Ecto Baby Farms? Talk to us.
Oh man, the designer babies,
Right.
Splicing genes. Yeah, you going down the rabbit hole that
Yeah.
science just is not ready for.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard about the Habsburg chin and all like type of inbred diseases and stuff like that. You just don't know. And then you're talking about trying to program them and this music is the best music and languages. Yeah, you could that could be a recipe for a disaster. And this what makes it even scarier. Just in my thought process, first glimpse is AI. Now imagine AI controlling this type system, and they got a whole city of kids that they're grooming. Like you don't know. So stuff like that is a little bit, I will wish it would just be left in the movies. Because somebody curiosity just got a little too real for me.
So this whole thing was developed by a Middle Eastern cat. His name is Hasham Al Ghali, right? And he's a Middle Eastern cat, but he's a YouTuber. So not only is he a scientist, but he's a famous YouTuber.
Oh, wow.
That's the cat right there. And he developed this Ecto Baby Farm. It's not real yet, but they have it as like a what do you call that?
Concept.
Like beta. It's beta already. In
Mm-hmm.
other words, it's in the testing phase. You know what I'm saying? And he is being regarded as the new Elon Musk type of dude, so to speak. You know what I mean? The new super genius, Wile E. Coyote, super genius. You know, he's the new
Well,
cat.
I think the most practical use, in I say this in humor, but I say it mostly in reality, is the birther movement. The those white nationalists that believe they're going to be replaced, they're probably going to be the first clients for this. They're probably going to be the first ones to say let's try this en masse, so white folks can be replaced. And yeah, they'll be the ones to use it. I also see the military applying this for their harvesting of melanin. That's something that they've been doing for centuries. And so
So I had a question for y'all in
yeah,
terms of that because I knew you would bring it up. Over the last year, melanin rose to $500
a gram.
a gram. Never
Damn.
before in human history was melanin so coveted as a commodity. And now you see ecto baby forms.
Wow.
What are y'all thoughts? And they're talking about raising and creating the perfect genetic kid with no abnormalities. And of course, in order to do that, you need the God gene. You need melanin. So what do you guys think in lieu of all of that?
That's amazing that melanin is worth money like that, and that we don't really, as a whole, realize how much value that we provide on this earth, man.
Facts.
It's amazing, man. I saw a video of some white guys talking to some black queens and asking for their eggs and offering them $100. They was like,
Yeah,
nah.
yeah, absolutely. He had them around like a round table, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they were ready to give up their essence for a couple dollars.
Yeah, but
So,
not they wasn't trying to give it up cheap now. They was they wanted a bag for it though.
Hey, that's wild, and that's what I'm saying. Like just knowing things like that is going on, that that's scary. Now next thing you know, we got Jurassic World coming up where they're trying to use that to incubate the T-Rex out of a iguana egg. Like it could be so many disasters that comes about from that concept, and where people imagination are going to run with it. But like I said, from the birther movement to the military harvesting melanin, I think it was like 425, 465 last year. Now it's over 500. The more research that comes out where it's proving its utilization is applicable, and the more that they're gonna try to drive up the price for manufacturing it, to get the buyers in. As a black man, I'm going to be worth more dead than alive. It'd be the situation where Michael Jackson, do we want him to own 50% of the rights, or do we want to take that 50% of the rights, i.e. Sony? Yeah, he's worth more dead than he is alive, i.e. Biggie. Do we want him to leave our label, or do we want to commemorate him and own all the rights for his greatest hit albums and future collaborations? Yeah, he's better off dead, i.e. same situation with Tupac and Death Row. So, you know, as black men, as black women, as black bodies, we're worth more dead than alive, and this validates that. And now, they're going to take the biggest, best, brightest black person that has the right amount of DNA extraction, and now that's the next Henrietta Latch situation for this, this melanin farming. So I think this is very scary. Now it makes you want to think twice about, putting your DNA into, Ancestry, 23andMe, all these data banks, and they're selling your DNA.
Yeah.
You literally put that in the fine print, and they're all in the same database. So whether you go to Ancestry, DNA, or 23andMe, your DNA information is in the same database. And so that just makes it a little, like I said, a little scary and nefarious, that the timing of all this is coming now, and especially from a YouTuber.
I'm sharing my frequency. I am though, but I'm sharing my actual screen, and it says on CNBC, 2019, says that 10,000 women froze their eggs in 2017, and the market is projected to grow 25% annually every year after that.
Wow.
What do we think about that? What do we think about that in terms of what we just seen? Women are cryogenically freezing their eggs. It was already at 10,000 women in 2017. Add 25% to that up to this date, and you know how many women are cryogenically freezing their eggs every year. And then
No, they said 25% each year. So that's 2,500. So yeah, so over a 5-year period, that's about double now.
Yeah.
So that's a little over 20,000. So 23,000. So that's sheesh.
So now you're putting all that DNA in the hands of folks that are scientists, medical people, what have you. I think it's very speculative at best. I think it's super dangerous. And I just wanted to show, I know you brothers kind of probably had an idea that something like this was already out there, but just didn't see it. But I just wanted to show the audience that something like this exists. And I got one more thing to show you before we close. That's kind of in the same vein. Buckle up, y'all. It's popping.
Yo, it's so funny as you queuing that up. That situation about the baby farm was on a show called The Blacklist. I'm not sure if either one of you are familiar with that show.
Yep.
But I remember there was an episode on The Blacklist where guy was pretty much spreading his seed across the world, and he was harvesting kids and taking their eggs and he had, I think it was something over like 100 kids that were out across the United States that were his actual children. And so just imagine one person using their DNA over and over again, and now 100 years later, they got their DNA spread out like Genghis Khan. So it's just dangerous. I can't see no positive use because it would not be regulated. It'd be too expensive for anybody in poverty to be able to afford it, and so it just makes so much backdoor dealing, organ harvesting off of these developed children, all types of things. And China is already, leading the way and kidnapping people and just taking organs. So this is, the more and more I think about it, the more the iceberg gets deeper into the abyss.
Yeah, man. So speaking of dangerous, I wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here you go.
Thank you, guys.
It's real.
Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to Psychosec. Can I answer any questions? What is it all about? Well, we're a company that produces 100% organic human sleeves. You're probably wondering what's a human sleeve. Well, if you gather around, I can let you know what we do here in full details. So here at Psychosec, we've been able to achieve true immortality by taking your human consciousness and storing it on a device called a portable stack. It's implanted in the base of your neck, and it collects and stores everything that makes you you. Every memory, every emotion, every sensation, everything you've ever experienced gets stored on this little device. You can see it here on this screen that's about to come up. You guys just follow me. All the information is stored on this device and can be digitally transferred from one sleeve that you currently occupy into the sleeve of your choosing.
Sleeves are basically human bodies we grow in our labs. They're organically real. Bones, tissue, organs, everything. These are the best bodies you'll ever have. Period. Nothing hurts these bodies, but they are human. So if something were to happen to them, you can always change them out for a new one. That's why it says immortality becomes non-existent.
Yo.
I saw that too.
Yo. Yo. Yo, how can you can't not more dehumanize somebody than say, oh yeah, they're human and yeah, they can just be replaced. What? Like what? How do you devalue somebody when you just sit here and say, yeah, they're as real as it can be, but if need be, they can be replaced. They can be disposed and you can get a new one. Just reinsert the chip. Like, come on, man. How we now we just gonna justify genocide. We can replace them with these new people. Put them in the chip. Like what? This is wild.
Hey, woke, they be creepy. They gonna find you.
Oh man!
Get the cup with the tea. Hit the rim. Oh!
Yeah, you falling down a black abyss, man. That's wild.
Wasn't that what they was doing in the movie when they trying to put dude's subconscious in the body of the brother in the movie?
Yeah, that's why
father's consciousness in the body of Daniel Ayula, right?
Right. And that's why homeboy was running around the lawn because he was trying to be Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
Man. Talk to me, brother. You too quiet, man.
I can't believe we living in this crazy world, man. Downloading consciousness. You need a new sleeve. You can live forever. And like, how are you literally guaranteeing that person, after you download their thoughts into this, that's gonna be you? You know what I'm saying? How it can't be you? You know what I'm saying? There's no way you could transfer consciousness. I mean, if there was, I can't say I'd be totally against it once my knees go, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to run a couple laps again, play some football maybe, you know what I'm saying? Jump in and out of sleeves. I wouldn't mind, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I thank God for the sleeve I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I'm going to put on my Saquon Barkley sleeve. Hey. I'm going to go get busy. And then I'll give it back to you.
Right. People gonna have detachable parts, all types of craziness.
Right.
But this is what my first thought is. Now, what is the consequence when you tell somebody you got life? Now, what if El Chapo round one, when he first got put in, implanted his consciousness into one of those chips? And so now somebody's harvesting him, bringing him back to life, so that's where it gets dangerous. That's where it gets to where somebody can really say, I want world domination, throw me in a sleeve. I'm going to be here forever. And that's where things can get scary.
On some face off shit. Remember face off?
Yeah.
So it ain't just the face now. They done moved to the whole. They done moved to the They done moved to the whole body.
Right, and then at the same time, like how do you now we create non-binary and transgender, because this is where that situation comes in, and it gives more credibility and feasance on that extent, on the technical aspect. But yeah, it again, just blurring more lines.
And did
And
you
for me,
happen to catch the phenotype of the people that were the models for it?
no, I didn't peep that.
No, it was Barbie and Ken. You ain't see Barbie and Ken?
Oh yeah.
And the little
Mm.
test tube babies, little test tube Barbie and Ken. So what is that saying? AI racist?
Oh, we already knew that.
Yeah. Even the racist rapper AI was racist.
Right.
I don't have time to do it on the show, but I was gonna jump into transhumanism and singularity also. So that's a whole deal. We'll do
That's
it on
coming.
next Monday's show because AI is a real thing. And I was gonna link it to y'all know about Elon Musk and the Twitter files, right? Did y'all hear about that?
I heard about it, didn't dig any deeper into the surface.
Well, Elon Musk blew the whistle on Twitter. I'm not gonna get into it too much right now, but I'll just do the main thread line. Elon Musk blew the whistle on Twitter because he found out that once he did his digging, once he bought the company, he found out that a lot of the it was a bunch of CIA, FBI ops running Twitter.
That makes sense.
All throughout it. So the main vehicle that made things viral for the country, as far as information, communication, and entertainment was concerned, everybody wanted a blue check. Everybody wanted to go viral. Blah 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 blah. It was a lot of people pulling the strings that were CIA and FBI. Blah 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 blah. So now we just kind of link it to what's happening now with this particular human sleeve, man. And we're already getting BBLs, right? Aren't people running around getting BBLs, and they running around getting lips and tucks, and they can just replace their whole shit.
Right. And that makes it scary for men from the traditional era. And we trying to, if you're trying to look for a female, and they buying everything that money could buy, you don't know if this was possibly a guy before. You know what I'm saying? You don't know, because they got so much make. Man, listen.
And
I don't know.
Here's a thought. What if you had to make love to one of these little sleeve things and you ain't know?
Right. And
that's how sleeves get hurt.
Sleeve lives matter.
Yo, is that do that wet feel like wet, or do it feel like
word?
Oh man, that's wild.
What we talking about?
Talk about a tire?
Right, you gonna see Johnny in the middle of the street talk about you killed my avatar.
Talk about catching bodies.
Yeah. And see now, like I said, that's where it gets wild, because now like imagine having somebody's sleeve connected to them through like the metaverse or something like that.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
And we did
like
on the DNA NFTs, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like the Black Mirror situation.
Yeah. You could put your DNA genome on an NFT and sell it.
That sounds like selling your soul, man.
Yeah, it's a real thing. People doing it like clockwork, man. It's crazy. We don't want to get too far, and we don't want to go too far into overtime. Yeah, we're about 9 minutes into overtime. We're about a half hour, 39 minutes into overtime, because we only supposed to go our allotted amount. So this has been a dope episode. I want to thank Avery and Heroic Collier. I want to thank Iron Man Chris Starks for joining us. This has been a really, really dope episode of the Real HD Show. Tune in next Monday for another this episode with similar things on it. I won't pull punches on what I research and what I put out there for the people, because I think this is valuable information that everybody needs, so that everybody can run out and be their best for the rest of the 21st century and be fully informed as a people. So for all my guests and myself in the Real HD show, I'm gonna say peace and walk with power, and we will be back on Monday. Like, share,
Real quick,
go
real
ahead.
quick. Rest in peace, Michi Walker, man. Check him out, man. He had bone cancer. At 22 years old, he passed away. And rest in peace, Bill Brown. It's been 11 years since he passed away. One of my good friends. So I just wanted to say that.
Absolutely. Rest in peace to all our fallen loved ones, families, and comrades. We miss you out there. Hey, congratulations! It's long overdue. Matul Shakur, released from prison, finally exonerated from what they blamed him for many, 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 many years ago. I don't know how much back pay that is, but they need to come up off it. You know what I mean? Abe, you got any closing words?
Yeah, I want to say rest in peace to my Uncle Kenny. He passed away last week. Family man. I lived in Springfield, Massachusetts. Always was a stand-up guy. Had a lot of good memories growing up with him. Coming back from the family reunions, hanging out at the beach, barbecues. So just shout out to him, and just have a little prayer for my family in Massachusetts. But in lieu of the holidays, next week is going to be Christmas. Just that we're around family. Appreciate what we have. Appreciate who we have. A lot of people are dying here in Rochester. A lot of people are hungry. A lot of people are homeless. So if you have anything in your heart to give, please do so. Always reflect, make that call to a loved one, because they may not be here tomorrow. So just give people their roses while they're still here. Live life to the fullest. Enjoy these holidays while we have it.
Yes, sir. And you just made me think of something. Shout out to Devin and the whole crew down at Unisex Hair Salon, brothers and sisters. And they're doing a fabulous toy drive. So if you guys, anybody out there in the ethos listening, you got some old but serviceable toys, you want to donate them. Not just girls' toys, but boys' toys. I got some Transformers that my sons and all of them used to play with. I'm thinking about donating them to some kids that could, use them over the break. You know what I mean? Because this whole time period is really for kids. They like they whirl up and make them feel special. So, big up to brother Dev and everybody down there, brothers and sisters, and always fabulous work that they do, reinforcing the community. So shout out to them. And again, man, like, share, and subscribe. Share this episode. It's a lot of powerful information. We had a powerful dialogue. I thank these brothers for jumping on and sharing their thoughts. Hopefully they will come again, because these are near and dear brothers to me. And once again, peace and walk with power. We love y'all, man.
Peace.
The higher discussion. We out. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Yep.